Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom.
If they see me running, stop.
Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm your host, Monica Samuels, and I'm so excited that you all are joining us today. It is going to be a very fun day and very informative, but very fun here on the Moms Club. For those of you who are listening on the podcast, I have 3 gin bottles in front of me. And for those on YouTube, you can see they're very lovely too. So we have some exciting things to talk about today. But for starters, is for those of you who know the show very well, I am actually from Austin, Texas, but I fly into LA to do this show, usually with my co-host who's out traveling and enjoying herself and doing something else today. But I am excited to be here. And I flew in on Southwest Airlines. And I have to say, what I really appreciate about Southwest is they feed you for free something. Like you don't, every other airlines, you just have to have a credit card on file and then you have to order. But I can always count on, if I haven't gotten to eat for whatever reason, that I get to eat something on Southwest. And they've upped their game significantly. So they've got these new graham crackers that are delicious. They've had these for a little while, but these are great. But what I love, because I just started this recently, is Stellar, and this is not a promotion. Stellar is not paying me, nor is Southwest Airlines, although I would appreciate it. If they'd like to, they're more than welcome to send me a check. But Stellar with pretzel braids is absolutely delicious. And then I was just, I guess, bored, or I don't know. My internet wasn't working on the flight. I started reading and discovered that this brand was created by a mom and a daughter. They created this company, and this is just an example of the cool snacks that they make. And what I think is so great about that is frequently on this show, we talk to mompreneurs. We talk to women who are moms who create businesses and are very entrepreneurial. And it's always an interesting story how they got to do that, you know, what some of the challenges are. Like some of you know that one of the moms, who's a friend of mine, she started a new company. Well, not too new now, it's about a couple of years. There's a lot involved in, you may have a great idea, but great ideas have to be executed. And so that's the challenge. And so we're going to learn a lot today about how you do that. But I did a little research because I thought, what are some of the great mom, women-owned companies out there and how they started? So, for example, ladies, Spanx. We all know Spanx, or at least I definitely know Spanx. You know, if you want to have a certain figure, you definitely own some Spanx or some variation of it. Was started by Sarah Blakely, a mom of 4. Now, wonder where she got that idea. So now she's done that's immensely successful. That was a mom that started that company. Stasher silicone reusable storage bags, started by Kat Nuri. Of course, I mean, you're trying to figure out how to make your lunches for your kids, and you don't want to have to buy, no offense to Ziploc, they're amazing, but you don't want to keep buying that stuff. It's great to have something that's reusable, and that's also that's ecologically friendly, so that's great. You're helping the earth, so that's wonderful. Dry Bar was started by Allie Webb. Is that a shocker? I mean, that's no shock to any of us. Sometimes we're lucky we just roll out of bed and just get ourselves barely together. But what's better than being able to sit in a chair somewhere and have someone else blow out your hair and make you look fabulous? That was started by a mom. Wubba Nub was started by Carly Schneider, and those are those pacifiers with stuffed animals attached, which I have to say, when I first saw them, I was kind of taken aback, like, really? That kid's got a giant animal stuffed at the end of his mouth. But I realized that was just genius, because when my kids were little, we called them their little binkies. They had their little, and I remember my son, he later became a baseball player, and it was no great shock because he would frequently just pull that thing out of his mouth and throw it as hard as he could across restaurants and public places. And so now, but what kid wants to throw away their stuffed toy too? So I don't know where she got the idea, but that was a great idea. Rifle Paper Company is Anna Bond. She's a mom of 3 boys. Now, Rifle Paper Company, I love stationery. Anyone that's been to my house knows that when I die, they're going to have to haul out of there tons of office supplies and school supplies and various things like that, because I've collected them my whole life. So I do love Rifle. They make beautiful things, but they also make Corksicle. And Corksicle are those insulated cups that you see. They're beautiful and they're lovely colors. I mean, they're really great. And Corksicle even sponsors the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, or they have in the past at Disney. So, it's a very mom-friendly, kind of kid-friendly thing. But that's from a mom. Partake Food, started by Denise Woodward, and she had kids with food allergies. And so she started a company that helps solve that problem when your kids have food allergies. So it's just inspiring to see all these women that went into business and have created things that you are very familiar with, that you use every day. And I bet out there in our audience, there's a mom out there that like, I have a great idea. I have even a better idea, with all due respect to Spanx, which is amazing, but I even have a better idea, Monica, to make you look 25 pounds lighter in your clothes. So this is for you. We have 2 amazing guests today, or l'amazing, as we say here on the Moms Club. The first is the founder and CEO of A&B Food, Wines, and Spirits. She is the global COO, or that's Chief Operating Officer, for Rangoni Spirits, and she is passionate about ecological initiatives. She's particularly interested in lines that are organic, sustainable, and recyclable. And the other guest, her partner here, is a major charity fundraiser. She did an initiative to bring over $250 million in foreign investment for green energy manufacturing. Both ladies are moms. Please welcome Alia Reniers and Liz Smith. Welcome to the Moms Club. Welcome, ladies. We are so excited that you're here. And I have to say, in my research, I also found moms out there, and mom and daughter with their kids, that make and sell wine. So this is kind of along the lines where you are, A&B Food and Spirits and Rangoni. So let me start first with Alia. You are in the liquor business, basically, spirits business. And I have to say, just as a background, I know that's a pretty tough male-dominated business. And just for example, I have a relative who is my great uncle, actually, and he started a liquor distributorship in Fort Worth, Texas. It was extremely successful right after the end of Prohibition. Well, we all know that the people that initially, and I'm not saying it was him, I don't know how he started, but generally the people that started those companies initially were involved in things that were not so great, like legally, for that period of time that Prohibition existed. So I'd have to say it was a tough business. You got involved in a business that I expect is primarily male-dominated. Is that correct? Tell us a little bit about your journey into the world of alcohol and liquor.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. Well, I started back in 2001, and I'm a French native. I came back I came to the United States after I've done an MBA, thinking that I was going to be getting into the world of big corporate America. But I've always at heart been an entrepreneur. Even when I was a little kid, I would trade with my friends, and getting into Texas after an internship. I've always loved wine, and of course, being a French person, so it is kind of in my DNA. And I've done multiple things involving alcohol in general, like from harvesting to bottling to tasting, etc., etc. Then I have started back in 2001. I said, like, I'm going to pursue a career that I'm very, very passionate about. And that is wine. The wine industry has always been something that I have had the deepest interest. And I'm an educator as well. And whenever I teach people or whenever I do tastings, I tell them, when you think you know, you don't know. So the more you get involved into the alcohol industry, the more you discover and the more you realize that actually you don't know much. There's so much more to discover. And this is one of those industries that are really, the wealth of knowledge is out there. Of course, also another thing that have interested me is besides the passion and the interest is the challenges. There's this very, very challenging, industry, and I love challenges. It is something that inspires me. And also, it's a field that lacks literally gender diversity. And this is something that I have a daughter. She's 15 years old. And I'm telling her that if she needs to go out there and do a career that not a lot of female are in there, it's okay. You can go into a career that into a career that it is male dominated. It doesn't matter. Like now she calls it binary. So, but anyway, it is also a fast growing industry and opportunities are endless. So all of those have contributed for me to incorporate wholeheartedly the alcohol industry.
So tell us so you've touched on some of the parts. So you're from France, and
Yes.
were you a student in the U.S. or how did you
I came
come
as
to
an
Texas?
intern in Texas. So I have an MBA in finance. So I worked in a bank before. Like I said, I was trying to get into, I've always loved the United States. My very first time I stepped a foot in the United States, I was an au pair in America, in New York City, and I loved it. And the family still is dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, one of the little girl that I have babysat my daughter when we went to New York City. So they came for my wedding to Corsica, where I'm from, and so it has been a great opportunity. When I arrived in Texas after the internship, I met my business partner, silent business partner, who was involved in the food industry. And so the food industry and my passion for wine, we started A&B Food, Wines, and Spirits.
So, and was that a man? Was your business partner, or was it?
Yes, he's an older gentleman. He's my daughter's godfather. So he's a silent partner, but he has guided me through different things, and I have helped him through others. And so it's been a great adventure since October of 2001.
So you were passionate about wine, and of course you have some experience that is greater than a lot of. Trust me. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm from Texas. There are great Texas wines out there. I shouldn't criticize Texas, but it's not the place you naturally think of. The home of wine. So, but you had that passion and that interest. But I have a passion and interest too for wine, but I'm never going to be able to go into that business. So but you had an MBA, so you have some business background and interest.
Yes.
What was the jumping off point? Because a lot of times that's what a mom might have okay, I actually have a passion and interest in wine, but I don't have a business background. What was the point where you said, you know what? I think I want to get in this case, it was the food distribution business. You started there and then it moved into the spirits, or was it?
So he had a food distribution company back in the day, but it was more distribution than imports. So for me, having a background in finance, I studied the market. I looked at what was out there, what was selling, what was not, what was lacking. So I kind of did a little bit of homework and research And then I decided that the fastest growing industry, I mean, a wine cannot spoil. Uh, some of them even get better with age. With the food industry, it's a lot more challenging, and there's a lot of products that you throw away, and a lot of losses. So what I have decided to do back in October of 2001 is, you know what, I'm going to bring my passion for the alcohol, the wine industry, with something that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be bringing me, whenever my efforts, the amount of energy that I'm going to bring to the table is going to be rewarded by not only a high value product, because let's face it, even the cheapest bottle of wine, it's still a high value item, and basically bringing in that high added value product with a fast demanding growing industry. And that's how I kind of seal the gap.
Now, for all the moms out there who are wanting to start a business, so you've got an MBA, so you have a business background, and you have a silent partner who has a business. Did that make it easier to follow your dream of doing this? Because I know some people, like, you either have the business knowledge or the resources, like, in order to, like, how do you get someone to invest in you, I guess is what I'm getting at.
You really have to know what you're doing. First and foremost, you really have to do your homework. It's not that when I moved here and I met Bernard, his company was not doing well. I mean, let's face it, it was, like I said, I have an MBA in finance, but that was the best learning. 18 months were the best learning curve of my career, because I was dealing with not non-case studies. I was dealing with real people asking us to pay them. It was just a beautiful, beautiful learning experience. So I started from scratch, like really with nothing, to the exception of doing a market research, looking what's lacking, price comparisons, looking at what I can get, what I can bring to the market, and then basically going and knocking on doors on all different banks. And because of the background that I had working in a bank, I knew how to put together a package, a deck, so that somebody who wants to look at my project feels like, all of the corners there's no gaps. Like you are talking about profitability, there's the expectation. Now, you're talking about market share, this is where we will be. So it's always like making sure, if I have to give an advice to anybody wanting to start a business, is really take a step back, look, analyze, and understand what makes you and what's going to be the difference between your product and a multiple of others. Even in the wine industry, there's like a huge competition. And it is not an easy task. Like, why would they buy from me when they can buy from bigger companies with much higher purchasing powers?
Yeah, and that's really the challenge, of course, is because a lot of us think that I'll start a business. But what you just described are some of the things that definitely you need to be aware of when you start doing it. So I always think that a mom starting something like this needs to have a good mom partner to help her out. So how did you and Liz meet and get involved together in this enterprise?
So if I would love to make a gap before answering this question. So to close the chapter of the wine, Stefano Rangoni, who is the owner of Rangoni Spirits, which we have the nice picture in the background from one of the brands. I've sold his wines for many, many years, and I've met him at a trade show. And back in 2016, we partnered in and we started like importing and distributing his products. I've met Liz through a party.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. It was in our 20s, and I'm in my 40s right now. I'm in my age at least. But no, it's kind of strange how the universe brings people together. We've crossed many times, and now we're best friends. And we have a mutual friend, and her name is Rebecca Brando, and she is the daughter of the famous actor Marlon Brando. And I meet a lot of different people around the world, different industries, different businesses. So network is very eclectic. And she reached out to me and asked, because she's based in LA and I'm here in Dallas, and she asked if there was any way I can help her with this project, Brando Gin, that's being carried by Rangoni Spirits. And obviously, I'll help any friend. And so I said, well, have you gotten a distributor here or anything like that? And obviously, she's the perfect fit. And so together, she was already familiar with Stefano Rangoni, with Rangoni Spirits, as I was not surprised, as it is her industry. And she is related to many different businesses, vineyards, all over the world in this industry. So it was a natural fit. And here we are. And so now she is the COO, and she handles the guidance of where Rangoni Spirits is, which contains Brando Moto Gin. Yeah, I'm so glad you like it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it is beautiful. And now
it tastes great.
So Brando he lived in Tahiti for a while, and so this is sort of capturing the Polynesian spirit, and it's a beautiful bottle, which feels more, I'm not saying it's just for women, but it feels more feminine, like it could be attractive to the women gin drinkers out there. So, and in fact, there's that bottle. There's another beautiful bottle with that's the same one. There's another bottle here that I've got.
Yes.
With a beautiful bird on it. I mean, this is really pretty bottles
too. This is
too.
the Alto Gin. That's the blue bottle. This is the Alto Gin.
Can you describe? So what is in the gin? What's the difference than just the standard?
So basically, the gin, the Rangoni Spirits, they have one common denominator, and the common denominator is pure alpine water. So this is a product from the Alps. It is a product that is coming from 7,000 feet above sea level. So if you can picture it, we're not taking the water at the bottom of the well. We're talking really at the top, and the water is one of the best in the world. So this is the common denominator about all of the products for Rangoni Spirits. The second thing is the difference between the Brando and the other spirits that Rangoni Spirits carries is the botanicals. For the Brando Moto Gin, we have about 18 different botanicals that are coming in from French Polynesia. And with those botanicals, there are wild botanicals that are coming in from Val de Souza, where the distillery is located. So you have a diversity of botanicals, purest of the water, recyclable glass. We're talking about sustainability. And right now the glass is 50% recyclable, but we are aiming at getting into 100% recyclable glass. So this is plus the product. There's no preservatives, no additives. The pink color comes from the sambal flower and grapefruit. There's no E125 or any other colorants. So it is not only a beautiful product because of its sustainability and its the botanicals in the water, but on top of it, this is something that you can enjoy. It's literally not a lot of calories, depending on what you mix it with, and it is this is what really interested me to begin with. To when I joined, when Stefano has reached out and said, "Hey, we'd love for you to be on board. You've been doing this for 24 years. You know the industry in and out. I'd love to have you part of the team." And I'm like, "Okay, and let's go." And so I have my distribution company, which we are acting as the master importer for the whole United States. So we are developing partnerships with different distributors across the nation. But I'm also helping them develop a strategy and how to open different markets, whether they are in Asia, whether they are in Africa, whether they are in South America. I also speak multiple languages, so that's also some aspect that helps us as a company to develop and to bring the products, the Rangoni spirits, in different parts of the world.
I love when you talk about it being sustainable, the ingredients. I know that Cameron Diaz is doing something similar in this space, and it's just that's what's a lot of people feel very. Well, of course, they're going to enjoy their gin, but it's nice to know that you're also doing something good for the environment.
Absolutely.
And you both have a passion for that, I understand.
Yes.
So I think that's great. So Liz, tell us a little bit about that. I know that's a big interest of yours.
Yes, I'm currently one of the ambassadors for EarthX, which is the largest Earth conference in the world. And I was there since its inception. And now we have not only the conference, we have the film festival, we have the EarthX Capital, or EarthX Film Festival, EarthX everything. So I thought it was a natural fit when it was about to happen this year to speak to them about adding our gin in some way, shape, or form. It was an amazing opportunity to be in front of a world stage pre-launch, and then also in front of some big decision makers, because we had, not only people who are involved in their industries that are sustainable or have ESG initiatives within there, but EarthX Capital. We had a bunch of potential investors there. We also had ambassadors. We had politicians there. And I was able to get us placed at the receptions every day of the week, because it's a week-long conference, in front of them. And what better way to be in front of people than to actually try the gin?
Yeah, no, that is impressive.
It's
absolutely impressive. So, we are the Moms Club, and I know that in a lot of these businesses, the moms, well, you have children, so how do you incorporate your children, or how does this work with your children? Now, I can imagine in a lot of cases where the companies I mentioned, they said, so-and-so has her child try the good foods that she's making. I'm assuming you're not drinking gin with your kids. So each one of you, let's hear, Alia, tell us about your child. Like, how do you balance this? Are you teaching your child about business?
So I was an entrepreneur before my child was born. And so I have, for the first few years before she was born, I have had and set the foundation of the company. So that helped me work long hours without having to worry about, oh my God, I have a 1-year-old or 2-year-old at home waiting for me. So which is great. If I have to give a piece of advice again to any mom or mom wanting to become one day, is if you have the capacity of starting the business before, at least 2 years, whatever, planning ahead, it's really, really important. But if you don't, then setting up priorities, it's probably one of the key element that I would encourage the moms to have. Delegating responsibilities, like different people. Like right now, I have a team of people that I can count on. Self-care is probably one of the most important thing. You really need to keep your sanity, both mental and physical. So this is something that it is important. And as far as my daughter is concerned, she knows that I'm setting up an example for her to be independent, and that what I'm doing, it's not like I'm just forgetting about her, but as a matter of fact, I'm trying to involve her. I mean, she's here, she's on vacation right now, but she's in the other room filing, and so I'm involving her as much as I could. And even from when she was 5 or 6 years old, she was with me, and whenever opportunity that she had, I would tell her to explain to her the different things that a business entitles, and this is something that we need to learn even from a young age. And So this is how I'm managing. This is how I managed it so far.
That's great. So, and Liz, what about you? What's your experience been being a mom and in business?
I have a son who just turned 4, so I'm kind of new to the mom world in comparison to Alia, but I've always been involved in some business in some respect. Ever since I was a little girl, my father, he had 5 businesses, and I grew up in the back of the shops, and I would interact with the customers. I started doing the taxes by the time I was 11 for all of our businesses. So always been very close and saw how business was done from back of house to front of house. And it's only grown from there. Now with my son, he's seen me working, and it was so cute because even by the time he was 2.5, he would go to my computer and type on it, and he says, "I'm working," and just, monkey see, monkey do sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that really translates throughout the rest of their life. They see what you're doing. They see the types of risks that you go and take, and also the education that you gain and how you gain that by either researching on the World Wide Web or getting a mentor, which I strongly suggest. No matter at what stage, initial, or even if you think you're the best at what you do, always having a mentor, because multiple ones, because they'll see that and understand that, nobody knows everything about everything. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm a big person that says, I don't know anything, but I know other people who know stuff. Yeah. And I could always ask.
That's great. That's great advice. And you're right. I mean, even no matter how old they are, I wrote a book, and I know my son was about 5 years old when I wrote the book. And every time I was on a show, he would run in and he'd want to be on the show too, because, he felt as much part of it as me. So yeah, they're never too young to get involved in it or let them see mom doing something exciting and important like that. Well, we have some women that would love to ask you questions. So let's welcome in our Zoomer moms. Welcome to the Moms Club. Hi, Mom. So I am going to introduce each one of you. Just introduce yourself to Alia and Liz and tell us a little bit about yourself and ask a question. So Metal, please introduce yourself. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Hey there, my name's Settle Marotra. I have 2 kids, 16 and 19, and I'm from Durham, North Carolina. So it's a pleasure to listen to you both, Alia and Liz. Sounds like you've done a lot with your career while balancing the mom role, which is always a feat, so hats off to you. I guess my question is as the industry has changed, how have you had to pivot over the years to be able to find continued success in the market?
Is that for?
No, it's for you.
Oh, for me.
I guess both of you can answer it. I think it's applicable to your roles.
So if I were to change different careers or different path, is that the question?
No, I think more in your own business as leaders in your company. You've been in the market since 2001, and with spirits, I'm sure you've seen different types of things that you're marketing, but how have you stayed successful?
Well, there probably been quite a few changes and things that have happened that you've had to kind of roll with, especially with the pandemic. I'm sure that have influenced a lot of things too. So how things
I guess
changed?
That's where I'm going with this. Obviously the market's continued to change, but how have you found success knowing that, you've seen someone struggle? Your silent partner was someone that went through that. So how have you learned from that?
Being dynamic, think outside the box. For example, to give you example for the pandemic, we are a small company, whether with Rangoni we're starting and with my company, it's considered a small company in the big scale of things. So a lot of our customers closed, like whether we said it's a restaurant or a liquor store, and a lot of people would order from online. And our products, they would go for the things that they know best, even though you may have a product that is way better, less expensive, people would say, okay, I'm stuck in the house. I'm going to go with what I know best, and I'm going to order what I know best. So therefore, we really had to reinvent ourselves by offering packages, by teaming up with local restaurants and giving them cases of wine so that they put it into a dinner for two. We did a family. I partnered in with another female, another friend of mine, catering. She has a catering business, and we did like birthdays, anniversaries, Saturday night movie, and all of that, incorporating her skills in creating food products and creating a meal with my products being wines. So we really have teamed up, and some of them we would do like with masks and so on. You know, we would do a Zoom education, a lot of Zoom educations. Oh my gosh, like we would have like little packages, samples. Bottle would give like 2-ounce products, and then we would give them to people like you across the US. We ship them out, and then people grab them, and then while they're sitting in their home drinking the wine, they would listen to me telling them what this wine is all about, or how to pair it with. So basically, really being inventive, thinking outside the box. How can I move products? How can I move products? How can I move products?
So being
Those
very, and
factors.
being creative.
Yes.
Darlene, welcome to the Moms Club. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And do you have a question?
Sure. I'm Darlene Lumpkin. I have 2 children. One's 19 and one's 22, and I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, not far from Durham. And I was wondering, you'd mentioned self-care, and I always find that so hard that often it's the first thing to go out the window, being a mom and working in a career. What are some of the things you do for self-care, and how do you keep that in balance in your life?
Yeah, well, setting up priorities and waking up early and going to bed late. And for the longest of time, I was a Kravist. So I was doing Krav Maga, which is a very high impact, like you would fight with people that are like 200 pounds, like literally. But that is the best of the best feeling. You come home and like you can be stressed out, you can be angry, you can have like the crappiest of days. You go to the ring, you go to and face these people, and they don't care about your problems, and you just forget them outside of the door. And then the adrenaline you feel, and the exhaustion, physical exhaustion, all of that, you come home and you're like all of a sudden a fresh person. And I love yoga, so whenever I have an opportunity, I would say, okay, what's an hour in 24 hours? Okay, let's just, and sometimes you feel guilty as a mother. It's like, well, I've been working for 10 hours. Maybe I should. I was like, no, like I'm going to 1 hour. It's just 1 hour or 30 minutes or whatever it is. It's really, I have a Peloton during COVID. I couldn't do anything. So I took on a bike, and I was like just bicycling. So whatever opportunity I get to get out there and have a good cardiovascular workout, it's really has helped me tremendously.
So, Liz, what do you do for self-care? I mean, boxing or like, no, I mean, I'm inspired. Let's get the adrenaline. Have some energy.
I mean, I'm not as hardcore as Alia with the fighting and everything. Not saying I can't be thrown into a ring and try, but no, I mean, I have an athletic background myself. I played soccer for my university, and we ended up 16th in the nation by the time I was done. And so I'm a very competitive person by nature. But because of that, when I'm trying to relax or take care of myself, I go the opposite route, and I go the full-on massage. Sit in a dark room and just like have the music playing that puts me to sleep. So I take care of myself a little bit differently, and I'm sure you can also relate to my secondary, which is just going for a little shopping. Everybody's a little different, and I'm full believer in shop therapy and massages. and, a walk on the trail, that's fine.
So Liz, you're in Dallas, because what you just described is my perfect everything. So I'll have to give you a call, because that sounds amazing. Not that I wouldn't like to, get some cardio going too. So I've been inspired by both of you. Vanessa, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am from Florida, but my home state is North Carolina. I've lived there for a little bit over 20 years. I am originally from Peru and came into the country when I was 9 years old with my parents and siblings. I have 2 daughters now. I am married. And the question that I have is, considering that as entrepreneurs and the business that you're in, it's a hard business to break through and be part of it, because it's more male dominated as we know it. How did you get the courage to dive in and not look back? Because a lot of women, moms particularly, when we have ideas, we have ideas and we have it in our heart that it'll work. We can do this and we can make it work. But then other things come into play and we kind of give up on our idea or our dream. So what is your experience on that?
Personal experience is, of course, everybody has doubts and everybody has what if it doesn't work, but more of a looking at the glass half full. So I'm like, what do I have to lose? I know it's going to be a few hours or you do your homework first. If you have an idea in your heart, I'm a big believer in market research, understanding the ramifications of any idea out there, and saying what is the edge, what is the plus, what's going to, how is my product going to make other people feel if it's the non-food and beverage product, and all of that. If you have half of them answered, I'm just jump, you believe in yourself and just go for it. And of course, everybody says the first 2 years are non-profitable. The very first 2 years, you have to expect, and you have to be realistic, because many of my friends, they look at me today and say, oh, you have the coolest job, drinking wine all day and traveling the world, and you're looking at the tip of the iceberg right there, because all the work that you have to put in behind it's not a bed of roses. You just don't just drink wine and travel the world and say, yeah, great, this is no, but it's a lot of work. A lot of people think it has a negative connotation, not to me, because I am a hustler when it comes to if you need to push your ideas forward, if you need to go out, you gotta have to make room for yourself. And especially when it's a male-dominated industry, you gotta have to impose your name. And for me, what has worked is integrity. I'm not trying to gouge anybody. I don't favor people buying a case or 10 cases. I tell them, hey, if you want to discuss volume, we can do it, but these are the pricing. And then trust. So my customers now trust me when they're looking for a product. They know that I am going to do my utmost in bring it to them, the best products for the best pricing. So all of those relationships that I have built over the years have helped me be successful. And when you start, you really have to keep that in mind. It's okay, I want to create a business where people call me, when people rely on me, when people think that I can help them help me. So these are if I have to give you a piece of advice, is believe in yourself, do your homework, go for it, and build that connotation that whenever they talk to you, they say, okay, I'm going to go to her because I know she's going to do me good.
That is great advice. Well, ladies, I cannot believe our time has just flown right by, but it's been very informative and very interesting. Liz, where can we find Brando Gin?
Well, you can go to rangonispirits.com. That's RANGONI spirits.com. And you can see all the other gins that we have there in the portfolio. But Brando Gin is about to have their official launch here soon, along with the rest of the portfolio. So we will be announcing that. You can also go to our Instagram, which is the same handle at Rangoni Spirits. Go ahead and give a follow because we're about to announce our huge launch, which is going to be a really nice party. And there's going to be a lot of things exciting in store. So I'm sure you guys don't want to miss that, as well as the other events that we will be putting out there that you can attend and actually try it yourself, which is amazing.
Well, thank you so much.
In Texas, it's at a Total Wine at Specs, in a few places. We open in California, soon New York, and I'm working on Virginia and Florida. So.
Oh, wow. Well, great.
So
all places that I can
hotel and restaurant near you.
Easily get to. Well, thank you, Alia and Liz. Thank you so much. And let me share something with all you moms out there. Now, many of you women sometimes feel a little stressed, don't get enough good sleep. You don't have some Brando gin nearby just to kind of calm your nerves. And when that's the case, you want to try New Calm. So for those of you who are on the podcast world and don't know, and you're listening, it's spelled NUCALM. It is an app that has something for everyone to help you have a better day. It has a deep sleep program. It has a focus program. If you want to go and do, boxing or extensive deep cardio, it has something to kind of rev you up. It has everything. And here's the great news for moms out there. When you sign up, if you put Moms Club in the code at checkout, you're going to get 15% off every month of your subscription. That is amazing. And I can tell you, and I promise you, you will feel and look and just everything will be better. Your stress level will come down tremendously. And it's just, I swear by it. I wouldn't be sitting here right now were it not for New Calm, because it is that good. And soon I will also be able to say that I never felt so great because I had a little Brando gin. I'm going to try this. This is awesome. So thank you so much. Well, moms, you can find us on social media at Inside the Moms Club on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Inside the Moms Club, or our website at insidethemomsclub.com. Well, I cannot believe our time has passed. It always goes by way too fast. But we'll be back next time with celebrities and extraordinary moms like you. Your me time is precious, valuable. Thank you so much for spending it with us. And remember the Moms Club motto, if you don't laugh sometimes, ladies, you're going to cry. So let's keep laughing. Let's stay positive. And we're going to see you next time inside the Moms Club.